Sunday morning thus far. Again, up and at them early. Y'all know what it is, man. Every time I get a little time and I got something that I want to get off my chest, I tap in with the kids. Hopefully y'all got about 40, 45 minutes to listen to this quick build. Sunday morning, you know what I'm saying? It's a little sermon or whatever the case may be, man. So how y'all living? How y'all feeling on this Sunday morning? What's the word? Talk to me before I start talking to y'all. I know it's bright and early, but it is what it is, man. We gonna get this build on. We gonna get our build on. That's what we gonna do. So what's the word, man? How everybody living? How everybody feeling on this wonderful Sunday morning? Hey, Aaron, peace. What's happening, man? What's the word? How you holding up? How you feeling out here? What's the word, man? We gotta talk, man. Early Sunday morning, man. We gotta build, man. We gotta talk about, you know what I'm saying, self-hate and whatnot. We gotta talk about the self-hate. Because that's running rampant. You know what I'm saying? This is something that we've been dealing with. It's something that we still dealing with. We got a problem in regards to self-hate. And that pretty much results in all of the crime that we see. A lot of people don't understand. A lot of people still don't understand it. This should be common sense by now, but it's not. Brandon, peace, what's happening? Everything is all good, man. Everything is all good my way, man. We dealing with, what we dealing with today? Today is what, the second, man. So we dealing with the wisdom, man. We dealing with putting everything we learn into motion. Era 9, there you go, man. Building. That's what we do. Builders build. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. That's what we got to continue to do. That's what we got to continue to do. Keep building. Keep building. Keep elevating. Building on the positives, destroying the negatives. That's how we got to move. That's how we got to operate. On a consistent, daily basis. But yeah, we on the self-hate vibe this morning. Self-hate vibe. Malcolm X asked the question, who taught you how to hate yourself? That's what we dealing with today. Who taught you this? Who taught us how to hate ourselves? Who taught us that? Who destroyed our culture? Who destroyed our history? Who took everything from us? Who did that? You know what I'm saying? So we got to include them in our condition. We got to include them. We cannot exclude them, man, because, again, they played a role in it. So we always got to include them in our situation. Always got to include them. But like I said, every time you try to include the system, every time you try to include these Europeans into our situation, people want to make it seem like you're blaming white folks. Nope, not blaming them, acknowledging their role, because they had a role in regards to what's going on, in regards to our current condition, in regards to our past conditions. They have a role. They will always have a role. You know what I'm saying? So we got to acknowledge that. Got to acknowledge their role. We never going to let them off the hook. We never do that. Lindell, peace. What's the word? What's happening? What's happening with you, my brother? Yeah, we never let these white folks off the hook, these Europeans off the hook, man. Again, we always acknowledge their role, but then at the same time we do that, we got to continue to teach that knowledge itself. We got to continue to encourage people to activate that knowledge itself, because that knowledge itself, like, I really can't teach you about yourself, man. I can only encourage you to activate it because it's already within you, man. You just got to tap in. You got to tap in. DJ Elmo, peace. What's happening? Or Court, peace. What's the word? What's the word? You know what I'm saying? That knowledge itself is something that must be activated by you, by the person. So I can't tell you who you are. You can only tell yourself that you are the best knower of self. So again, that's why some people, man, that's why you gotta activate. You gotta be activated, man. You gotta be tapped in. You gotta tune in to self and listen to yourself. You know what I'm saying? You gotta listen to yourself. A lot of times we don't do that. We listen to all the outside voices, man. We listen to all the external voices, but we don't listen to the internal voice, and that's the one that matters the most. Hence why a lot of people walking around not knowing who they are. Sneaky peace, what's happening? We allowing everybody else to tell us who we are, and that's how we got the situations that we be having today, man. Killing one another and all this type of good stuff, man. Killing one another over some nonsense. Man, it was a brother that was just shot and killed kind of close to where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? In the St. Louis area, they had an argument. It was two brothers had an argument about who has the fastest car. And that led to a brother being shot and killed as he was getting in the car with his family. So this is the type of stuff that we dealing with. Two brothers is arguing about who has the fastest car, and that led to one of them being fatally shot while he was getting into the vehicle with his children, with his family. Come on now. That's ridiculous. We arguing over cars. Who has the fastest car? And that leads to somebody being fatally shot. Like, this the world we living in? This is what we own? This is how you got to go to your grave? You went to your grave, you fought with somebody because y'all arguing about a car that black people, we don't own we don't own these vehicles. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't own this. We arguing about this car that you probably paying the car note on, and that led to somebody being fatally shot. Come on, man. We got to stop that, man. We got to stop that, man. We got to stop it. And what happened was, I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, it was a fight. So it was a physical confrontation that happened first. So I'm pretty sure the dude that fatally shot the brother probably lost the fight, probably took the L and was embarrassed. And was like, you know what? I'm gonna pull this gun out, shoot and kill him. So that's what we be on. That's what we be on, man. We gotta chill with all of that, man. Nowadays, as a black man, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. All the fighting, that's that. Like, if you having a fist fight out here, man, you might not listen. It's kill or be killed out here, man. It's kill or be killed. Dudes can't take an L, man. So if you out here fighting somebody and it's a fair fight and you getting the best of them, man, you got to keep your guards up. They liable to pull a weapon out on you. They liable to pull a weapon out on you, man. Because dudes can't take an L out here. Especially these young bulls, man. Can't nobody take an L, man. So that's why I just stay out of the way. I stay smooth out of the way. I don't have time for anything like that, man. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to have a fight over something like the car, like a physical confrontation. That's one thing. All right, cool. We had our little fight. We moving on. The fight was still stupid, but nobody was killed. But to have to die over that? Come on, man. Come on now. Self-hate at its finest, man. Self-hate at its finest, man, because if you love yourself and if you know yourself, man, you're not gonna cause harm to somebody that looks like you, man. You're just not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it, man. That's one thing when I came across the knowledge of self, man, when I activated that knowledge of self within myself, man, that was one of the first things that I was on, man. It's like I didn't want to cause harm to people that look like me. I didn't want to harm another brother. You know what I'm saying? But before the knowledge of self, like, that stuff crossed my mind. Like, I didn't care about anybody else like that. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't looking out for other brothers like that, man. Survival of the fittest. But when you get that knowledge of self, man, you want to see people that look like you. You want to see brothers that look like you thrive. That's what you want to see. You want to see them doing good. You want to see them being successful. That's what you want to see out here, truthfully. When you activate that knowledge of self, man, that's what you want to see. You want to see your brothers out here thriving. You want to see your brothers out here winning. You don't want to see your brothers out here dying. You don't want to participate. You don't want to participate in that, man. So the knowledge of self, man, that activated that. Like, I'm rooting for my brother mentality. Like, I'm rooting for all my brothers out here. I'm rooting for the sisters out here. Like, I'm rooting for people that look like me. I'm rooting for the home team. Like, that's what knowledge of self did for me, man. It caused me to root for the home team. I want to see y'all win. I'm rooting for the black team, the black side. That's literally what it did, man. But now, that's not what we on. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we on. We are, like I said, like I always say, we emulating the ways and actions or the culture of our oppressors. And see, back in the day when you study them, like, they didn't mind killing their own people. See, this is where this stuff originated from. This is where this stuff originated from. Like, they didn't mind it. Like, they did not care about killing one another. Like, we starting to emulate their culture, their way of life. They was ruthless. They was reckless. They didn't mind. They did not mind killing off their own people. They did not mind. So now we starting to live like them. Oh, yeah, DJ Elmo, definitely cowardly, man. It's nothing, listen, it's nothing manly, it's nothing brave, it's nothing courageous about you pulling out a gun, shooting and killing another person, especially when y'all was having a fair fight and you just lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing, like, it's nothing good about that. Nothing. Lindell, for sure. Yeah, it's all about competition. Like, I don't look at it like I'm not competing with any of y'all. Like, nah, I'm not competing with y'all. We on the same team. So when you win, I'm winning. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. When you win, when another brother is winning, I feel like I'm winning. I feel like I won. When a sister is winning, I feel like I won. I'm not looking at it like, oh, dude winning, I'm losing. It's a competition. It's never how I view the situation. I view it as us winning collectively. So that's why I like to see my brothers and sisters winning. Because I feel like we on the same squad, we on the same team. But we don't have that mentality collectively. Like, not enough of us have that type of mentality, man. We see it as competition. Oh, look at the car he driving compared to the car I'm driving. My car faster than yours. My car better than yours. So now let's fight. And if you get the better of me in this fight, I'm gonna go ahead and kill you. Oh man, look at the type of shoes he got on. Look at the type of shoes I got on. My shoes better. Let's fight. If I lose this fight, then I'm gonna kill you. Like, that's the type of mentality that we have, man. It's all that self-hatred. It's all that self-hatred, and that self-hatred is caused via lack of knowledge of self. I know that's all right. Yeah, we back in this thing. They tried to they tried to tap in, but I got it back. They tried to tap into my stream again, but we back in this thing. We back in this thing. But yeah, Sneaky, you talking about that Juice Roll? Yeah, one of my favorite movies though. One of my favorite movies, man. That movie is definitely deep when you analyze it for what it is. Yeah, but they tried to tap back in my video. They tried to cut me off again, but I got it back this time. I was able to get back in this joint, man, before it fully cut off on me. So we in this thing. So hopefully y'all can hear me and all that good stuff, man, because my screen just went black, so I had to get back on this joint. I was able to save the situation, save the stream this time. Anthony Peace, what's happening? What's happening with you, my brother? What's the word? But yeah, man, we just gotta get off. My brother Chris, what's happening? Oh yeah. The weather kind of real in the field out here, man. It's real in the field. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I guess the winter weather had a New Year's resolution or whatever the case may be. Said we gonna activate in January, you know what I'm saying? Because the winter weather definitely activated around here. Kim's and peace. Oh, most definitely. Yeah, they definitely playing with the kid on here, man. I already know. Big Smooth, peace, what's happening? Anthony, there you go. Hey, we appreciate you tapping in. But yeah, man, we gotta stay on their necks out here, man. Like I said, I'm on everybody's necks, man. We gotta stay on their necks. We gotta stay on these young bulls' necks. And that's the thing, man. Never give up on the young generation or the younger generation. A lot of times that's what we do. It's a disconnect. You know what I'm saying? And the older generation always talking bad about the younger generation. And this ain't nothing new that's under the sun. This always happens. You know what I'm saying? When I was looking at stuff back in like the 60s and 70s, and the older people in the 60s and 70s were saying the same thing about the young folks then. Oh, we don't understand the younger generation. Like, again, that's always been a problem. That's always been a problem. And part of the problem is the older generation tends to always view things through the older generation's lens. You got to understand it's a different time. So the way that you came up is not the way that these kids are coming up now. So you got to be able to adapt and adjust your perspective. You got to understand that, hey, the way that they move and the way that they coming up is totally different from the way that we was moving and the way we came up. You got to be able to understand that. You got to be able to speak their language. But a lot of times that's not the case. An elder will come talk to a younger person and they'll tell this younger person what to do based off of what they did 20, 30 years ago. Totally different ball game. That's outdated advice. We got to understand that. Very outdated advice. That's almost like an elder talking to a younger person these days, talking about the American dream. Go to school, get you a good job. Like, it's not working like that. That's not the way of the world. Back in the day, you might have had some of these jobs out here. You might have been able to get a job without having to go to school. You might have been able to go to school, graduate, and get a decent job. Now that's not the case. You got to make a way for yourself out here. But a lot of times, man, these elders, when they talk to these young folks, they think that the world is still how it was 30 years ago. It's not. It's not. And that's what we gotta realize, man. So when you talking to the youth, You got to understand that they move in it's a different era. It's a different generation. You got to be able to say, okay, this is how we did it, but this is not how they doing it. A lot of times, man, we not understanding that when we talking to these younger folks, and that's the disconnect. We can't force our ways on them, man. They living totally different. So we got to listen to what they are saying. That's what we got to do. You got to listen to the younger generation instead of trying to tell them what to do based off of what you did. Listen to them. Listen to them so you can see how the world is, how their world is. In order for you to be able to do that, you got to listen. But we don't do that. We not listening to these young folks, man. That's not what we doing. That's why the disconnect is always strong. The older folks think they know everything and don't want to listen to these young folks. They don't think a young person can tell them anything. It's not about a young person telling you something. It's about you understanding the world in which they live in so you can better help guide them. But people not doing that. Nobody is trying to do that, man. Nobody's really trying to listen to these young folk in the elder community. Not trying to listen. We trying to criticize them. We trying to tell them how they live in this file. But we doing all this criticizing, but we not really striving to help them. We not really striving to understand and listen to them. So no, we part of the problem. We part of the problem. If you an OG in the game and you not trying to listen to the young G's, then you part of the problem. You part of the problem. You part of the problem. Yeah, DJ Elmo, definitely. Definitely a vicious cycle. Definitely a vicious cycle, man. But like I said, man, it's just the disconnect revolves around not listening, not striving to understand. If you not striving, you in a relationship and you never listen to your partner, how you gonna understand your partner? Alvarez, peace, what's happening? Barry Boo, peace, what's happening? But yeah, if you in a relationship and you never listen to your partner, what type of relationship is that gonna be? How long is that relationship gonna last? That's gonna be a very toxic relationship. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a relationship with another person and you never listen to them, if you never listen, you can never have an understanding of who the person is. So that's gonna be a very toxic situation that may not last long. This is what's happening with the elder community and the younger generation. Nobody is striving to listen. Nobody is striving to listen. And it's a little bit more beneficial for us to listen to the younger generation because we claim they the future. So if we want the future to be in good hands, we need to listen. We need to listen. Some of us, we had our time. We didn't do what we had to do. But now let's listen to these young folk. Let's listen to these young folks because they gonna shape the world. They gonna shape the world. So we gotta listen to them. We gotta see, all right, man, what it is that they listening to, what it is that they think. We gotta try to tap in. We got to try to tap in so we can speak their language. Again, when you learn how to speak their language, you better able to reach them. But we don't never try to speak their language. We never try to speak their language. We just want to criticize their language. That's it. Want to criticize their language. Like, man, these young folks, they be tripping. Why? Like, we were young bulls. I don't know about y'all, but when I was a young bull, listen, we were tripping too. We were getting criticized just like the younger generation today. So we had the same problems. We was doing some of the same things. And we just wanted people to understand us. We just wanted people to listen to us. So it's the same old song and dance. Same old song and dance. Same old song and dance, man. AI Matrix, yeah, and I've witnessed that. I've witnessed that. Lindell, and I would say, honestly, because I done had some young brothers. See, this is the thing about it. Contrary to popular belief, especially a lot of these young boys, young men, I should say, they are all looking for, a lot of them, or many of them, don't have like proper role models in regards to men. Like they don't have father figures. And a lot of them are looking for that. Hence why a lot of them get involved in the gang world because they may have an OG that embraces them like a father. That's one of the reasons why a lot of these dudes get caught up in that type of environment because they're looking for that father figure. So contrary to popular belief, when you are an OG like these young bulls, like they looking for you. They looking for you. They looking for that OG. They looking for that father figure. But it's all about approach. Approach is everything. A lot of times, the OGs that's not in that gang world, like the OGs that's doing good, like we are condescending when we talk to them. We just got to learn to approach them better. We got to learn to approach them. We can't just, like, one of the things about the younger generation, and even when I was young, like, extra sensitive. So you can't just come out the gate criticizing these young bulls. You can't just come out the gate bashing these young bulls. You know what I'm saying? You got to come out the gate embracing them. That's how you got to do it. A lot of times we just come out the gate just bashing. Oh, y'all young folks don't do this, that, and the third. Y'all young bulls need to stop X, Y, and Z. That's not the proper approach. Most of the young bulls, as soon as you come out the gate bashing them, they're gonna be like, nah, I'm not listening to the OG. I'm not. We got to come out the gate embracing them. You know what I'm saying? We got to find an aspect of their life that we can embrace, and that's how we got to reach them. That's how we initially get to them. Embrace them. Embrace them before you criticize them. Embrace them before you criticize them. But a lot of times we come out the gate just bashing them. I remember when I was growing up, like, that's what was happening. A lot of times, man, before I even listen, most of the elders around me, they just instantly bashing. I don't know why y'all sag y'all pants. I don't know why y'all want to wear your hair like this. Like, hold on. Ask us some questions first. Like, dudes just instantly started bashing us. I faced that a lot. Back in the day. Oh, y'all just want to listen to this rap music. Like, hold on. It was no embracing. It was just straight bashing from the elders. And that's why I used to get into it with a lot of them back in the day. Just out the gate, just bashing my lifestyle. Ain't nobody trying to figure out why we doing what we doing. It's just out the gate bashing it. Like they was perfect when they was smaller or younger. Like, that was crazy. Like, I used to despise that. And it created a rebel mentality in me, honestly. So a lot of times we got to learn to embrace them first, man. Like, again, it's certain things that we want to help them with, man, but we just can't come out the gate bashing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what be happening a lot of the time, man. So I'm going to come out the gate, embrace the young brother, and then I'm going to start teaching them. You know what I'm saying? After I embrace them, man, let them know I appreciate them. All that type of good stuff, man, because they looking for that. They looking for it. Brandon, man, I'm already knowing. I faced that a lot growing up myself. Just the elders around me not listening, criticizing every decision I make instead of trying to gain an understanding of why I want to do what it is that I want to do, or why I'm saying what it is that I'm saying. Straight criticism. Like, out the gate. Like, it's ridiculous. Oh, Joe, for sure. And it's that's a you know what I'm saying, that's a whole nother topic, man. I was having a conversation with a brother of mine, man, and we was just talking about we was just kind of talking about crime. We was talking about poverty. We was talking about jobs. But before you even deal with the aspect of jobs and crime, it's a whole mentality. It's a whole mentality. Like, it's a whole mentality, man. It's just a whole mentality that has to change. It's a whole mentality that has to change out here. It's just a whole mentality that has to change. Like, I'm gonna just pretty much leave it at that, man. The mentality is off. It's almost like financial literacy. It's almost like thinking that giving us money will solve our problems. Well, if we lack the information, you know what I'm saying? If we lack the knowledge, you can give us all the money in the world. What we gonna do though? We not gonna spend the money properly. We're gonna blow right through that money because we don't have the financial literacy. So again, like, just throwing us money, not gonna solve a problem. Not gonna solve a problem at all. Even with the job situation. Like, before the job, we gotta shake the mentality of these brothers out here. Because imagine, just giving these brothers jobs, but then their mentality is off. I know a lot of these brothers, they done tried to work some of these jobs, but they can't do it. They don't last long because their mentality is off. I know a lot of brothers, when I worked at the bank, I know a lot of entrepreneurial brothers, they were trying to hire a lot of these young bulls to work for them and do work, and they was paying them decent. But they was like, man, these young brothers, they didn't have their head on straight. They didn't want to do any work. They show up late, they smoking weed, all that type of stuff, man. So it's like the mentality got to change. Even if we supplying them with some jobs, they gotta learn how to work properly. So it's like, man, it's just a whole mindset that has to change out here, man. But most definitely though, it's the crime is gonna get more real in the field for a few reasons. You know what I'm saying? When every state decides to like legalize marijuana and whatnot, it's really gonna be real in the field. Like, it's really gonna be real in the field, because you gonna really see at that point how many people was earning a living by selling the weed out here. Rika, peace. Appreciate you, Queen, for sure. Yeah, Ricky, man, I'm telling you, I used to resent my elders, man. Stop, for real, man. Especially, like I say this all the time, but especially the elder black men. I used to resent them, man, because I feel like they was giving me the most Sambo-ish type of advice in the world. Like, I had a few situations where I felt like it was some elders, like some brothers that was older than me. I felt like they should have been looking out for me considering certain circumstances, and they were the worst ones. They some of the worst ones, man. They some of the worst ones, man. Some of the worst ones. Like, it's crazy. It's almost like that black cop that's trying to prove himself. So he acting crazy when he pull you over, because he's trying to prove himself to the white folk. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them type of situations, man. Like, I had a lot of that in my life growing up, man, where I was, listen, man, the white folks, the head of the establishment will be white, and they gonna send, you know what I'm saying, they gonna send they Sambo to try to put us in check or keep us in check. Couldn't stand it, man. Couldn't stand it. So that's why I grew up. That's why I had a very different perspective towards like elder black men. I just felt like a lot of them, bro, I was like, man, a lot of y'all just soft. Like, I was getting upset, man, like, for real. I was getting upset, man, like me and elder black men was not getting along, man, because I felt like I had a certain type of energy, and they was trying to tame that energy. Like, they didn't want me banging on the system. They didn't want me doing what it is that I want to do in my life. Like, they didn't want me doing for myself. All they was out here telling me to do was work for these white folks. You got to learn to work with these white folks because they own and control everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was giving me some garbage advice, man. So I, you know what I'm saying, that shaped my perspective. You know what I'm saying? That distorted my perspective for a minute. And I was just like, man, y'all lame, or y'all soft. And I was calling a lot of them soft. Like, I'm just keeping it honest. I was calling a lot of my elders soft. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm like, man, y'all like, that's soft. I'm like, it's weak, that's soft, and it was a lot of excuses being made, and I just ain't like it. I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? Every black man I was talking to, because I had the business mentality. I was like, man, I'm gonna find something, I'm gonna do it for myself. I'm not gonna be clocking in for these white folks. I'm not doing it. I feel like, man, for one, I'm not gonna be working for these folks if I feel like I'm smarter than them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do it. And I was studying my culture, my history at that time. Like, man, nah, we too powerful of a people. Why in the world am I continuing to clock in for these white folks that did our people? Like, I was on that type of vibe, and all the black men in my corner at that same time. Nope, don't do that. Don't do that. Even if you start a business, if you do this, then they gonna make it so hard. They gonna present all these obstacles. Like, man, come on, they just give me. I mean, it was the worst energy ever. It was the worst energy ever. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That was the worst energy ever, man. I had to stay away from it, man. I'm talking about every elder that I was talking to that was a black man. I'm telling you, he was on the same type of vibe. It never failed. Oh, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to cut your hair. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to work for these white folks with that long hair. Who's out here saying that I'm trying to work for white folks? Like, they literally, I'm talking about before an elder would even try to get to know me. First thing they would tell me, man, you're gonna have to cut your hair if you're trying to get you a job out here. I'm creating jobs. Have you ever thought of that? Man, man, I'm telling you, they used to get on my nerves. I used to argue with them on a consistent basis. Like, dude, first of all, who's out here saying that I'm trying to get a job? Who's out here saying I'm trying to be employed by them? I'm gonna create my own opportunity. So I appreciate you telling me that I may have to cut my hair if I want to work for white folks, but that's not my long-term plan. Never was. So thank you for your suggestions, but I'm not listening. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not my world. But that used to get me hot, though. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That used to get me hot. One of the reasons why I continue to grow my hair and I continue to prove them wrong. Clan, you say a lot of people are jobless and more jobs are going to be lost. I got a bachelor's degree, associate degree, certifications, and I'm jobless right now. I even been contemplating turning to crime, man. And I know and understand that well, man. Two bachelor's degrees, and I was out here getting disrespected in regards to these jobs. But outside of even being jobless, man, I mean, none of these jobs are paying what people are worth. Like, these jobs not paying enough, honestly. Hence why people be trying to be out here with 2 or 3 jobs. I mean, these jobs not paying enough. If you really trying to earn a decent living out here, man, you got to do your own thing, or at least work a job and do your own thing on the side. But the days of finding like a decent job to where you can work that one job and that one job can take care of the whole fam, like those days are gone. And like my parents' generation, like that's their mentality, thinking that you could just find a job, work that job 30, 40 years and then retire and then be good. Man, that's not a reality anymore. That's not how the world is now. Like, that's just not a reality at all. Not even close. Not even close. Barry, what you say as a 24-year-old, I'm scared for my brothers. I have the knowledge, but I do not have that masculine authority that they want to listen to. And that's the key. That is the key. That masculine authority. That's why I feel like us brothers, we gotta teach. We gotta teach and reach the youth. Because that's on these young men, they need that masculine authority, they need that masculine voice, they need to hear it, they need to see it. They need to hear it, they need to see it. Like, point blank, period. So they need, because hey, it's sisters out here, as Barry talking about, that got the knowledge. But man, they cannot reach these young men how they want to. They just can't, because that masculine authority, that masculine voice is needed. It's needed. 100% needed. Clan, for sure, man. You got it, man. Just set your mentality, man. Set your mind to it. And you got it, man. You gonna manifest it, man. You gonna put it into motion. Set your mind to it, man. Lindell, for sure. And that's why I say, just throwing money to the problem, like just giving us money not gonna solve a problem. Like if we just got reparations overnight, if they just hit us with a lump sum of money, I'm telling y'all, man, we gonna get that money right back to them. If we woke up, if every black person in America woke up tomorrow with $250 million in a bank account, we'd get that money right back to them. I'm telling y'all, man, we'd get that money right back to them. We'd get that money right back to them, man. It's a lot of athletes that end up broke, just bankrupt, all type of stuff, man. And you be like, how? It's easy. It's easier than we think. It's easier than we think, especially when you don't have the discipline, when you don't have the knowledge. Like when you don't have all of these things, man, it's very easy to end up blowing all of the money, blowing millions. It's easy. Then you got family members, friends, people you trying to help out, because you know black folks, we got good hearts, so we trying to help out everybody. Like, man, when you start trying to help out everybody, you come across all this money, you gonna end up broke in no time. And Clan, crazy that you say that. That's the conversation that I just had a conversation with my pops yesterday about that exact situation. My pops was like, it's his generation's fault, right? For our current condition. But he said the way he wanted to break it down was that they didn't pass down, how did he say it, man? My pops was like, is his generation's fault for basically not passing down jobs to the younger generation. Sounds good, but he wasn't talking about passing down jobs that we own and control. He was talking about fighting the policies of these white-owned corporations so that we can have better opportunities to excel and get these jobs in these white-owned corporations. That's what he was talking about. His generation should have did a better job of fighting these white-owned corporations, these white-owned jobs, in order to get more black people in the door at these white-owned institutions. I was like, no, sir. I said, nah, that we don't own those jobs anyway. So even if you fought the policies, we still don't own these jobs. So that really wouldn't have did much. These white folks are never going to create a situation of where it's equal as long as they own and control these jobs and these corporations. So I said, it don't matter how, I told them, I said, it don't matter how hard y'all would have fought for that, we would have never been equal. They would have never started to put us, if they had a boardroom, if you had the higher ups in a boardroom, it was never going to be, if it's 10 people, it was never going to be 5 black people and 5 white folks at a white-owned corporation. Never. So I said, you got to give the younger generation more credit. I said, the younger generation starting to wake up. The younger generation realizing that, man, we don't want to work for these white folks. Man, these white folks giving us this disrespectful pay. We going to go out and do our own thing. So the younger generation is this generation. These young bulls, they not in the business of working for the disrespectful wages that's being offered out here. So a lot of young folks, like, they got that entrepreneurial mentality. And a lot of them are putting things in motion. Now, it's not perfect, but man, it's a lot of young bulls out here that's just trying to make a way for themselves from an entrepreneurial standpoint. They not looking at it like, man, I'm finna get this job and then I'm gonna work this job 30, 40 years. They looking at it like, man, I was on this job, they paying me $10 an hour and they asked me to do $20 an hour's worth of work, I quit. So we looking at it like they don't want to work. That's how the older generation looks at the younger generation. I don't see it like that. I see the younger generation just being fed up. Like, man, we don't want to work for this garbage pay. We feel like we worth more. So we gonna try to create an opportunity so we can get what we worth. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. These young bulls like, man, I'm not finna do this type of work for no $9 and $10 an hour. Nah, it's too much money out here. I ain't doing that. Like, you're not about to give me that. It's not happening. You're not about to have me doing all of this for $10 an hour. That's what the young generation know. That's not a generation that don't want to work to me. That's a generation that they know they worth. And they not about to accept anything less. So they walking out these jobs. And I commend that. I commend that. You know what I'm saying? If you on these jobs, they paying you these trash wages, but then want you to do everything under the sun. Nah, that's disrespectful, especially when you know your worth. Especially when you know your worth. Shantae, peace, queen, what's happening? So I look at it as courageous. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I look at that as courageous, man, especially the ones that's doing their own thing. Now, obviously, I'm talking about doing your own thing legally. Legally. But that's what I told my pops. I said, man, nah, man, y'all got to, listen, just because these young bulls not out here taking the traditional route don't necessarily mean you failed them. These young bulls just like, nah, we not about to, like, somebody got to break that cycle of taking these low-paying jobs and being content with it and having the mentality of, at least I got a job. Young people like, man, listen, forget that, man. Young people like, man, they asked me to do way too much, and this is what they paying me. Listen, like, come on, man, you're not about to play with me. You're not about to play with me. Like I said, I commend that. I commend that. I don't have a problem with it. Because that's what, like, essentially, that's what I was on, man. They had me ripping and running, doing everything under the sun. I'm like, this pay ain't worth it. You end up with bad health. You know what I'm saying? You just end up all bad out here, man. You end up all bad, and guess what? Jobs don't care about you. You know what I'm saying? You got to miss work because your health all bad. Guess what? Then you end up replacing you. You know what I'm saying? So they don't care anything about you, man. So these young bulls are realizing this. These jobs don't care anything about you, man. So listen, if you're not going to up my pay and I'm out here grinding, doing all this work, I'm going elsewhere. I'm moving on. Sneaky, exactly. And they talk about trading your time for money. Like, that's real in the field. Like, real in the field, man. You be having to work crazy hours just to maintain out here. You know what I'm saying? Just to maintain. And like I said, I don't feel like we should just be striving to maintain as black people. We the original people of the planet Earth. We could live lavishly. So we deserve everything that everybody else got out here. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, man, people be like, oh man, you can maintain by making this amount of dollars an hour. We don't need to maintain. We done been struggling enough. We deserve to find the things in life if we want to. Man, we didn't put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to build this country. So we deserve to find the things in life if we want them. You know what I'm saying? We deserve them. After all of what our ancestors was put through, after all of what we put through. So we deserve some of them finer things in life if we want them. You know what I'm saying? So we shouldn't have to accept the bare minimum and try to maintain with the bare minimum. Like, nah, man, forget all of that. Forget all of that, man. Forget all of that, man. We putting in work, man. I know some honest working black people, man, that just can't catch a break. But they put in work. Like they not lazy. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the myths out here that we lazy. Nah, man, I know all the black people I know, they put in work. They work hard, and they not getting fairly compensated for the work that they put in. They just getting disrespectful offer after disrespectful offer. And then people tired of that, man. Ricky, that's what I'm saying. And that's what they don't understand about the young bulls. Man, they tired of maintaining. These young bulls like, man, we trying to live. We trying to live. Like, man, people tired of black people are tired of maintaining. We tired of maintaining. You know what I'm saying? They done told us we gonna get our pie in the sky after we die. Like, and we believe that. And we done passed that type of mentality down. So we don't think we can enjoy life until we die out here. We think we have associated corruption with wealth. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we have. Like that's what we own. That's what we own. Like that's literally what we own. Like they say, all right, you gonna get your pie in the sky after you die. So all this struggling gonna be worth it because once you die, you get your pie in the sky. That's what they got black people believing. Whole while they creating their heaven while they on earth. Nah, forget that. I'm gonna create my heaven on earth also. Cause I don't know anything about a pie in the sky. That ain't guaranteed. First of all, I don't fool with pie like that. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't waiting till I die to try to reap any benefits from all this hard living. Nope, I'm gonna create my heaven on earth. You know what I'm saying? Because as far as I'm concerned, after I die, that's it. I don't know. So I ain't trying to wait till I die to see what happens. So I'm gonna create my heaven on earth. I'm gonna create my life on earth that I want. Just like they doing. They not waiting until they die to see what happens. They creating the life that they want. They living the life that they want while they are here. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do the same thing. Forget what they talking about, man. I'm gonna live the life that I want to live while I'm here on earth. That is what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. That's what they are doing. So what's stopping us from doing it? What's stopping us from what's stopping us from doing it, man? Nah, y'all got me messed up, man. Like whatever I want to do, I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. Shout out to the religious folks. It's Sunday, but this ain't that. Like again, I'm not waiting until I die. I'm not waiting until I die. That's not what I'm on. I'm not finna be doing all this struggling just to wait till I die. And then just think about it. Just think about the traditional way. Just thinking about it. Just think about it, Just think about the traditional way. You dedicate 30 years of your life to a job that you can't pass down to your children, this, that, and the third. Then man, I'm gonna give y'all a story. I'm gonna just give y'all this story. Man, when I was working at the bank, my former manager gave me this story. He said it was a dude that he worked with. I think he worked for like AT&T. He said this dude was just engaged in his work. He just loved to work. Woo, woo, woo. I think he said he worked for AT&T like 35 years. However long he worked for AT&T. He said he started working for AT&T when he was like in his early 20s, and then he retired when he was like 60. He gave him close to 40 years. So he retired, right? A week after he retired, that man died. So just think about it. He was so engaged in his work. He was dedicated to enriching AT&T. He was dedicated to AT&T for almost 40 years, to where it was like he wasn't really living. He wasn't really enjoying his life. So then he finally retired at around 60, where he was about to try to enjoy life at 60, start enjoying life at 60. He didn't make it a week. He didn't make it a week. Come on now. That's not living to me. Dedicating all my time and energy to build up somebody else's establishment. Then it's time for me to try to retire so I can try to cram all of my living in from 60 to like 80 or however long, you know what I'm saying? And I don't even make it. I don't even make it a week. Nah, I ain't going out like that. I ain't dedicating all this time and energy to enriching these white folks and then retire. You know what I'm saying? I'm 60 and I'm about to try to do everything I wanted to do in my 30s and my 40s. You know what I'm saying? But I was so engaged in my work that I couldn't do these things. So now I'm 60 and I'm trying to live now. You 60 and you didn't take care of yourself, so your health is all bad. Now you trying to live, now you trying to travel, you trying to do all of this stuff at 60 because you neglected living when you was 20, when you was 30, when you was 40. You neglected enjoying life then because you were so committed to this job, you were so committed to this corporation. You weren't able to enjoy living, and then boom. Now you retired, now your health is trash, and now it's hard to enjoy life. Like, I ain't going out like that. That was a sad story. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to create the life I want right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to create it while I'm young. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it. So if something like that happened, like I could be like, man, I enjoyed my life up to this point. I don't want to be like, yeah, I gave these white folks 30, 35 years of my time. I'm talking about working overtime. Whatever they needed me to do, I did it. And then, boom, I tried to enjoy my life. And a week later, you know what I'm saying? A week after I retire, I die. Nah, man. Nope. And you think the people at AT&T cared about dude dying after he retired? You think they cared about him? You think they cared about him? No, they did not. No, they did not. You think they care about these folks? No, they don't care about us. They don't care about us at all. DP's what's happening. They don't care about us at all. And again, we can't pass these jobs down to our children. We can't pass these jobs down to future generations. We can't guarantee that these jobs can hire our kids. And so that's what I was talking about with my pops. I'm like, dude, it ain't really nothing y'all can do. You can't make these jobs hire your kids. No matter how you fight the policy. Like, I don't care what you do. You cannot make a job hire your kid. You can't force your job. Man, like, you can't force your job to hire your son. Like, the nepotism is real in the white community, not for the black community. Man, I had interviews. I done filled out applications for both the jobs where my parents worked. And do you see me working there? No. I wasn't able to get in. I'm talking about my pops been on this job since I done been born. Nope, that wasn't enough. That ain't do nothing. That ain't do nothing for me. So again, we can't pass these jobs down. We can't pass these jobs down. That's sad, you know what I'm saying, to even think that we can. We can't pass these jobs down to the younger generation. Can't do it. Only job we can pass down is jobs that we own and control. Literally. You know what I'm saying? My name didn't hold no weight when I went in there and I filled out application where my pop's been working for almost 30 years. I mean, 35 years. My pop's been there for forever, man. So you would think, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Let a white person would have did that. Let a white person would have been at my pop's job for that long and his son fill out an application. Oh, they gonna be like, that's Mr. Williams' son? Like, yeah, we gonna bring him in. Come on, man. Come on now. Like that, we can't pass these jobs. You cannot pass something that you don't own to hell to your children, man. You cannot pass a job that you don't own to your kids. You cannot do it. You cannot do that. You just cannot do that. You can't do that at all. You know what I'm saying? So we might as well eliminate that. I don't even know why that's a thought. Like, that is just, it's something that don't even make any sense. Traveling man, exactly. Filling out an app. Still getting rejected. And I ain't even never get the interview. They rejected the application. And you know, in the application, they ask you, do you know anybody that works at the job? You know what I'm saying? So I'm able to plug in my pop's name. So that didn't do nothing. That didn't do anything. At least on my mom's job, I got the interview. They was, nope, that didn't do anything either. So again, it is what it is. But like I said, if I was the child of a white person, oh yeah, we gonna bring him in here. Bring your son on in here. Oh, he just graduated college, bring him on in here. He got 2 degrees, bring him in. Same qualifications, man. I graduated college, 2 degrees. I'm telling you, if I was a white child, If I was a white child and they parents been on that job for that long, boy, they like, man, don't even have him fill out the application. Bring him on in. He qualified. He got these 2 degrees. Just graduated. Not with black folks, man. That's not how that works with us, man. It's not how that works with us. I'm filling out all these applications, man. I'm knowing all references. I'm putting people's name down. Soon as you check off black, African American, whatever you check off, yep, nope. Can't have too many of them in there. First of all, they definitely can't have families in there taking over. Like, nah, they can't have that. They can't have that. Oh, you trying to bring your son in here? What are y'all trying to do? Next thing you know, your cousin will be in here. Like, what are y'all trying to do? We can't have this. Nah, they can't have that at all. Sneaky, yeah, for sure. They definitely know what they doing, man. 100%. They 100% know what they doing. Yeah, they know it. They know exactly what they doing, man. So that's why I said I'm gonna stop playing by their rules, man. I'm gonna stop playing by their rules, and I'm gonna create my own rules. I'm gonna create my own system, create my own game, create my own opportunities. I'm not finna keep playing with them. Like, I felt like at that point, I was begging for a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I got rejected so many times, at that point, I just felt like, man, I feel like I'm begging these white folks for a job, and I ain't like how that was feeling. They had too much control. They had too much control over my life. I'm like, man, literally, they control whether or not I'm able to feed myself. Like, that's how I started looking at it. I'm like, man, these folks control whether or not I'm able to feed myself by giving me a job or not. So I was like, nah, man, that's dead. I got a lot of things that I'm good at doing. I can make a way for myself. Man. I don't need them to give me an opportunity. But for a minute, I was caught up in that matrix to where I felt like I needed them to give me an opportunity, give me a job. And that's the only way I can eat. Like, I felt like the only way I can eat is if they give me an opportunity. Like, nah, that's not necessarily true. We can create opportunities for ourselves. AI. And again, some of those rules don't apply to certain people. But the jobs where I was at, that wasn't the rule. Or the jobs that I'm talking about, that wasn't the rule. And a lot of times, it's only, you can't work in the same, like, department. You know what I'm saying? I was in totally different departments. So that's what the rule was. Like, you could have a relative in there, but y'all just couldn't be in the same department. And I was not going to be in the same department as either my moms or my pops. Like, that, hence why I got the interview where my moms was at. But nah, yeah, that wasn't even a rule where I was at or where I was applying to. You couldn't be in the same department. And I wasn't going to be in the same department. Because first and foremost, I'm not going, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to fill out a job. I'm not going to fill out an application if I know and understand that's the rule. You know what I'm saying? So first things first, before I even filled out the app, you know what I'm saying? I'm chopping it up with my people, making sure that they don't have any type of policies like that. So it's like, nah, that wasn't even the case. But even still, they'd say that, and then they'd bend those rules. You just don't even be knowing it. Static Sam. Let me see. Money Master the Game is a good book. Everybody know about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but the opposite of Rich Dad, Poor Dad is Dave Ramsey. I think it's Total Money Makeover or whatnot. That's pretty much like the total opposite of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So it's crazy reading both of those books and studying both of those authors because they actually have two different perspectives in regards to wealth building. So I was reading Dave Ramsey, like all of his books, and then the Rich Dad Poor Dad cat, and then like some Grant Cardone and whatnot. Man, I was studying all of these people, but it was crazy that, like, if you know anything about Dave Ramsey, you know what he be talking about, cash is king and all that type of stuff. Rich Dad Poor Dad dude don't be on that. Don't be on the cash is king. They tell you to use other people's money and all of this type of stuff. They tell you about the benefits of debt and whatnot. So I was studying both sides. So I'll recommend that too. Dave Ramsey, The Total Money Makeover. I believe that's the name of the book. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Richest Man in Babylon. Money Master the Game. That's Tony Robbins. I'll start with those joints, man. But yeah, that Dave Ramsey joint be kind of interesting. when you start studying Dave Ramsey. Like I said, I don't know if y'all familiar with Dave Ramsey, but I've read like 2 or 3 of his books. I read about 2 or 3 of his books. Traveling man for sure. Yeah, for sure, that's what I'm saying. Everybody practice it. We just don't be seeing how they be practicing it because, again, it be the unseen, like it be the higher ups that be related. So the rule don't apply to them. D, they wouldn't let y'all be sellies, and that's crazy. I actually worked with my brother, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And we was like right next to one another. But yeah, and the joint, that's crazy. Yeah, they don't want you clicking up. Nobody. But I've heard about that though. Like I've heard situations like that in the joint, man. I've definitely heard of situations like that. Know some personal situations like that. So yeah, I definitely have heard that. Which is trash. I mean, dang, if we locked up, like, why not put me with my brother? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? You know what I'm saying? Being my brother in this joint, like, why not put us in the room together? Like, one thing you know, like, we might not kill each other, you know what I'm saying? Like, why not do that? But we already know what they be on with that, though. Oh, sneaky for sure. For sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, libraries are a thing of the past now, man. But yeah, we definitely, club life for the most part is trash, man. But if that's something that you like to do, go ahead and do it. But whatever, man. That stuff, that lifestyle is dead, man. I did all my partying and clubbing a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm burnt out on that type of living, man. It never really was my way of life, but I was just doing it back then. You're young, you just gonna do some things. You know what I'm saying? So I was involved in that lifestyle for a minute. Glad I'm not involved with it now because that lifestyle is very overrated. Very overrated. Akuma for sure. I got a homeboy that just passed the bar. You know what I'm saying? He working for a little firm, man, but it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Like, it's hard. Finding opportunities, man. Finding jobs. That's why I say we got to create. Creation. Like, that's what we got to do. We got to be producers. We got to produce jobs. We got to create. Like, that's what we got to do. Ricky, for sure. Yeah, we already know. When I was working, it's crazy, man. When I was working at Target, they accused me and another dude of unionizing. Like, what? Just because we would go outside for lunch and just be talking and talking to other people. And they felt like a lot of people would listen to us rather than like the team leads at the time. So they accused us of unionizing. Like, what? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that happened. Anyone says you out here unionizing. Dude had brought us in there, had a little meeting and everything, said we was out here unionizing. Like, what? Like, that was crazy. Buzz out here said we were out here unionizing. Like, that's what we done got accused of. Trying to turn the team against the managers at that point. Like, dude, if you feel like we got this power, why are we not managers then? Like, that's what I was on. I'm like, that. If you feel like we got this power, what? That should be, you know what I'm saying? That should be enough to promote us. Like, man, you feel like people listening to us and we just the average worker, like, then that mean go ahead, give me that promotion then. You feel like we got the power to turn you against your whole team, like turn the whole team against you, and you the one people should be listening to, then that sounds like we should be getting a promotion or something. Like, that's how I'm looking at it like that. That means people out here listening to what we got to say. Now, I'm need peace what's happening, my brother. But yeah, accuse us of unionizing. Unionizing, boy, they had some fear. They like, nah, man, hold on, what y'all doing? Y'all trying to y'all getting everybody listening to y'all turning, like, that's crazy. Like, you feel like dudes got that type of influence, that's when you bring them in the office and say, man, you know what I'm saying, your work ethic is X, Y, and Z. People seem to gravitate towards you. We're going to give you a promotion. That's what they'd do for a white person. If that white person going outside, talking at the lunch break, and everybody listening to them, they're going to be like, ooh, look like you real influential. Look like everybody respects you. Let's give you a promotion. Black person do it, they say, nah, y'all unionizing. Like, what? Like, that was confusing. I'm like, bro, because we was doing everything but that. We was outside talking about a bunch of nonsense. People just rock with us. They do not like when black people congregating, and they especially don't like when black people congregate and then some white folks try to get in on the congregation. So when they own start getting influenced by it, they really don't like that. They hold up. It's getting a little too real in the field, man. It's getting a little too real. My boy Antonio Peace, what's happening? Yeah, so they afraid. You know what I'm saying? They afraid of us unifying, coming together. Like that instills heavy fear into the kids, man. Still instills heavy fear. They can't stand to see that. So that's why when we are destructive towards one another, they sitting back and they applauding like, all right, this is beautiful. This is what we came here to see. But y'all, with that being said, man, I got to go ahead and tap out. Client just pulled up in the building. So I appreciate y'all tapping in for this stream. I might tap back in with y'all later on today. Definitely tomorrow, though. But y'all be easy out here, man. Enjoy the rest of this Sunday, though. Peace.